prosecutors, many of whom have appeared
The YSL RICO case that we've been following here on Atlanta News First for nearly a year since witness testimony began. It comes after information was brought in front of a jury that they apparently were not supposed to hear. The jury was excused while Fulton County Judge Paige Whitaker weighed the request for mistrial, ultimately canceling court for the day yesterday and again today. We have a lot to get into, but for more on how we got here and where we are right now, I want to send it over to Atlanta News First reporter Sarah Hammond.
The judge in this case had to consider if she would grant a mistrial after the jury heard part of a social media post with a piece of information that the defense says was supposed to have been redacted. A witness on the stand Wednesday read the words #FreeQuay. The words were redacted on the screen, but not on the paper he was given. It references when co-defendant Marquavius Huey was previously in jail. Huey's attorneys argue because of the slip, now the jury knows the co-defendant's history. Judge Paige Whitaker denied the defense's motions for a mistrial with prejudice. That would mean the case would end and could not be brought back to court. However, she said she would consider a request for a mistrial without prejudice.
That means, of course, that the state would be free to try every one of y'all again.
Judge Whitaker scolded the prosecutors for the mistake, saying it could waste the year-long process they've already started.
I don't honestly really care what the poster was referencing. What I'm trying to do is fix your sloppiness, so that everybody won't have wasted, 10, 12 months of their lives in this trial.
This trial began almost a year ago, and defense attorneys have repeatedly brought up concerns about the length of this trial. But Fulton County prosecutors still have 100 witnesses to call. At the Fulton County Courthouse, I'm Sarah Hammond for Atlanta News First.
All right, so we have a lot to break down for you. Some of you hearing about this for the very first time. To help me explain that, I want to welcome an Atlanta News First Plus favorite, Attorney Josh Schiffer. Thank you so much for coming. Now, you are not directly tied to this trial actively, but you have been following it, as many, not just here in Georgia, but really around the country have been. This is a trial that has taken national and international attention, involving a prominent Atlanta rapper and 6 co-defendants. And now we're here with a very frustrated judge and a lot of questions on whether we're going to see this trial continue. Explain to me exactly what happened yesterday.
This is the best popcorn trial that has ever happened.
Yo, what y'all think about that phrase? Good morning. Salute to everybody in here. What y'all think about that phrase right there? The best popcorn trial that ever happened. Let's hear him say it again. He said it with so much, he had Febreze in his voice. Let's say he had that Febreze in his voice.
What happened yesterday?
This is the best popcorn trial that has ever happened.
Yo sound like a murder mystery dictator or something. Like, yo, who is he? Like, why he talking like this? Like it's a movie, though.
In Georgia history, we have all the big players and a celebrity's involved.
A celebrity's involved. Yo, hitting the Cisco even for real, ain't he?
Homegrown, most famous entertainers.
Most famous. Yo.
is battling literally for his life in the longest and most complex prosecution in Georgia history. So what happened yesterday?
What'd he say?
Well, just catch
the most complex prosecution.
Entertainers is battling literally for his life in the longest and most complex prosecution. Entertainers is battling literally for his life in the longest and most complex prosecution in Georgia.
This is not complex, cuz.
History. So what happened yesterday? Well, just catch people up. Y'all know we're on this second judge, and there's been a lot of fighting over what evidence was going to come in and what evidence was going to be restricted or excluded. That started with Judge Glanville. It's continued with Judge Paige Whitaker, who is currently the elected Superior Court judge trying this case, or at least trying to try this case. One of her outtakes yesterday involved her commenting on how she's trying to save this case from being wasted. 12 or 18 months because of slop.
This the fourth judge, ain't it? Judge Glanville, Secure, and another lady. Then this one, Kraus, right?
And that's because of the testimony that we are hearing. Previously, we have had multiple instances where witnesses, almost exclusively state witnesses, have testified to information that they should have been told by the DA's office they were not supposed to get into. That's part of basic witness preparation. There are going to be issues that are excluded by the judge or prevented by the rules of criminal litigation from being introduced in front of a jury, with the remedy being, if those rules are broken, that something has to happen with the case, including dismissals. If the cat gets out of the bag, if the bell gets rung, you can't put those facts back together.
But yo, let me ask y'all, this situation that causing this melee right here, we seen this happen already in the trial, didn't we? We already seen them introduce evidence that actually spoke on someone's guilt. We seen this type of party happen throughout the trial numerous times, haven't we? Like, I'm talking about, I ain't gonna lie, I think we seen worse. Relaxing, the piggyback what Relaxing saying, I'm gonna have to say, yeah, I'm thinking, but not necessarily this same type of infraction. I think we seen other things that might have been like, yo, hold on now, that deserve a mistrial. Brady don't get a mistrial?
Together in a way that preserves the defendant's constitutional rights. And that's really where the analysis is. Are the
Robert Owen, salute.
The constitutional rights of the defendants being met when
Good morning.
There's this unsolicited testimony? So what happened yesterday? An officer, kind of in summary, basically referenced somebody's prison sentence in a way that wasn't admissible.
He said an officer.
Unsolicited testimony. So what happened yesterday? An officer.
It wasn't an officer. He wasn't even watching. Yo wasn't even watching.
Kind of in summary, basically referenced somebody's prison sentence in a way that wasn't admissible. And a juror knowing, or all of the jurors knowing about someone being previously convicted or incarcerated, that's bad character evidence. And it's not
Bro, he really don't know what he talking about?
appropriate for the jury to hear, because it would impugn their ability to make an independent judgment. Now, most of the time, these kind of simple mistakes are fixed with a curative instruction. Often
Simple mistakes? Bro, we talking about people who practice procedure over and over and over and over, bro, with someone's life on the line. Well, not necessarily life, but someone's freedom on the line. You understand what I'm saying? Regardless of which way you practice law. So you mean to tell me these type of mistakes, if you practicing law, you're allowed to make, and then the judge just comes and makes a statement to the jury, oh, you guys should ignore that. That wasn't supposed to happen. That's crazy.
sometimes the jury doesn't even understand what happened, because the discussion about all this happens outside their presence. When there is an issue like we saw yesterday of a witness testifying to something that shouldn't be out in the wild.
The police said it first, but that's what I'm saying. If we going off of that, yo, they done said mad people been locked up. I'm confused. Seriously, like, yo, what are we talking about? Holmes said he was locked up. Bro, I could have swore mega people been talking about people being locked up on the stand. Seriously. I'm confused. Yo, I'm confused. I could have swore everybody that's on trial at some point has been talked about being locked up. Seriously, I'm confused.
The judge kicks everybody out of the court and talks with the lawyers, and they figure out what they're going to do next. Yesterday, we saw an extensive interchange between Judge...
Yo, they do know most of these pictures they be using in the media be jail pictures, right? Like almost all of the pictures that's being used outside of court are jail pictures.
Paige Reese Whitaker, the state and the defense over
Look, there go another one right there.
unsolicited slip-up by a state witness, but it still had the effect of wrongfully providing information of bad character in an incorrect and
Yo, that picture they just showed of Young Thug is bad character. Boy got on double wife beaters.
Whitaker, the state and the defense over.
Bro. Yo.
over this unexpected, unsolicited slip-up by a state witness, but it still had the effect of wrongfully providing information of bad character in an incorrect, and unconstitutional, and wrongful manner to the jury. The defense immediately moved for mistrials, and during that discussion, it became very clear Judge Paige Reese Whitaker would not grant at that moment a mistrial with prejudice. And with prejudice means that the state can't come back and retry the case. It's dismissed. The state doesn't get another bite at the apple. Or what she really...
Did she just dab?
The case. It's dismissed. The state doesn't get another bite at the apple. Woo! Or what she really looked to be leaning in on was the means that the state can't come back and retry the case. It's dismissed. The state doesn't get another bite at the apple.
Yo, what is that? Tap the like button. Good morning. Yo, what is that? What's that move she did, y'all? I'm gonna keep it real. I can't call it. What is that? That's like your teacher. Like y'all was trying to teach her how to dab, and that's how she hit it. And you like, whoa, you let her slide. She did it the wrong way. She went but still, she attempted it. So you let her slide. Yeah, teach, you got it. Yeah, there you go. She is off, though. I don't know how she went that way, bro. She went wrong, opposite.
The state can't come back and retry the case. It's dismissed. The state doesn't get another bite at the apple.
Bro. Bro, what was that?
Or what she really looked to be leaning in on was...
Literally, what was she leaning in on, bro? What was that? Tap the like button.
Possibility of a mistrial without prejudice. That could and would preserve District Attorney Fani Willis's ability to bring back charges against...
All right. I'm calling, they showing him in a bad light with this lint on his lip. Seriously. And it's the thin thug, so he got him looking fiendish with the glasses on, trying to act like I don't get high. I got caught today, but he got lint on his lip. That's crazy, Shart ain't telling. And they look like they in the trap. Look at the chair behind Shart. Shart sitting in the chair. His head be sweating so much it done put a spot in the back. Burnt the leather down. Look at it. It melted the leather. Your head be...
Young Thug and the other co-defendants. There's about 6 or 7 in this trial.
Gee
and then, of course, there are a
whiz.
few that have been removed. They've been severed from this trial. And, of course, others have already...
All right. Let's talk about this Shannon Jackson picture right here. Why he look like Nicki Minaj, bruh? Why is Shannon Nicki Minaj in the silhouette? So soon as Holmes turned to a silhouette, he his neck get thin like that. That boy shoulders drop down. Yo got earring. Yo got dangling earrings. Is that his hair? He got a bun at the top. They crazy with it. First, they got 4 white men silhouettes and one Becky for Shannon. That's crazy.
He pled guilty. In fact, we're seeing we've got another...
Oh, it's only 5 dudes up here. Wait up.
Probation revocation coming up due to one of the state's witnesses in this trial getting arrested and violating probation. So...
Hey, yo. Obama still got to testify, and he violated probation. Did they line him up? Is he the last YSL member to testify, y'all? Tap the like button. Salute to everybody in here. Good morning. I appreciate you being here. You already know. Seriously, how much backup time does Obama, Antonio Sumlin, have? And is he the last one to testify out of YSL, y'all? Seriously, y'all, tap the like button if you're new around here. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you being here. I promise.
What happened after Judge Whitaker stopped yesterday? Because when she stopped, she basically said, hey, y'all, I got to think about this. She asked the defense what
YouTubers are delusional. Maybe, but I'm not that delusional. I got the Discord open so you can come up and show your face and explain. So who's really crazy? Uh-oh. Dun, 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 dun. Super posted. Do 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 do. Obama the last one, but if they already revoking him, nah, bro. What if he take the play and they offer him bait? You gonna talk good up there? Then we'll go ahead and act like we don't know what happened. We'll look out for you. So what you gonna do, brother man? I mean, your name is Obama, so you gotta understand the politics of this, right? Yo, the dude that was talking about the YouTubers, yo, go ahead and pull up in the Discord, cuzzo. I'm waiting on you, player.
their opinion would be on
Good morning.
a dismissal or mistrial, rather, without prejudice, thereby preserving the state's ability to come back. And the defense had a lot of thoughts about that. There are wins with a mistrial of that nature, but then there are big losses as well. Continuing exposure for all of the co-defendants, and each co-defendant may face a different form or flavor of criminal exposure.
A different form or flavor of criminal exposure. Uh-oh.
With a mistrial.
Tap the like button. Salute to everybody in here. Good morning. We're waiting on them to pop up in trial. We don't know exactly what's going to happen today. Mistrials on the table. Offers of plea deals have been alleged, which is both pretty interesting. And after I've been sitting here for 150 days and I don't feel scared from the state, I would have to say, nah, I'm already put up in the clink. Meaning I got my food, I'm situated, I got my routine down, I'm used to it. They don't even be in jail that long, y'all. They be in court. They basically go to jail to go to sleep. Seriously, by the time they get out this court date, like we talking about 5 days a week, it's like they go to work. So when they go back in jail, they eat something, they lay down, that's a wrap. They got to get back up. Sir, y'all think it's a game. Them boys got to get up like 3:30, 4 a.m. Straight up. So these boys ain't even been jailing. To be honest. I'm going to keep it real. They do not, like, seriously, they spend a lot of time outside that jail. I mean, it ain't in their favor because they still captured, but still, you understand what I'm saying? I mean, to be honest, they've spent a lot of time outside of jail clothes. And these boys wear suits and stuff so much, they probably feel comfortable when they put on the Ford County Blues, to be honest.
Trial. For example, one of the big questions is this speedy trial. There is a speedy trial demand that's been filed, and there are legitimate academic questions of whether there would be a possible second trial or whether a second trial would automatically violate the listed speedy trial.
All right. I don't know that much about speedy trials, but that's tight. If you fill the speedy trial out, it kind of falls to put the press on them so they can't really try to flex on you on the back end. I like that, right? But I got another question. What about the second trial, the real second trial, the severed co-defendants? What happens with them? Interesting, right?
Tough stuff. Paige Whitaker then met, or sorry, not Paige Whitaker, DA Fani Willis then met with the defense teams over the last day. During this, Miss Willis has also been celebrating her 53rd birthday with a whole bunch of events, so she's been busy. But we do know that
she met with him on her birthday weekend? Speaking of her. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in a Half Shell, Turtle Power.
We're ready. First of all, I want to say good afternoon to you all. Thank you all for coming out. I want to acknowledge the DA and Fulton County Sheriff. We're here today to speak on the arrest of Jeffery.
Oh, y'all can't hear it. Ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, I ain't gonna do y'all like that. Hold on.
She sat and met with the defense teams yesterday. Those conversations are continuing today, specifically one-on-one conversations between the prosecution and the defense. And the judge has come out and actually canceled court for today. There was a brief appearance first thing in the morning, but everybody has now been sent back to jail, back to home, as we wait and see what's happening in the background. And no one knows exactly what the next step is.
My big question, I think, we've seen some of the comments from our own viewers saying, what's so different about this mistrial? There have been countless dozens of mistrial motion requests from the defense. Yeah. What is it about this one that is causing judge?
No way they're going to find a new jury. Is the way the news has played it. You couldn't ignore this if you wasn't on the jury right now. So let's say you're a regular citizen. Something's happened to draw you to the news recently, whether it was politics, voting, the storm, something. We talking 2 years worth of coverage, and they've been dragging it. So to say that you haven't already had an idea about the trial and what was going on with it, you talking about you had to damn near go out of state, I believe. And we talking about this thing when put on a national scale. Bro. I don't think you can get another jury for this, honestly. I'm talking about, really. If you tried, people that can actually fill the job of being a juror and they really fit the criteria, meaning we ain't heard nothing about it. I don't have information that I already heard and gave me a reason to kind of decide what I think already, that type of juror. How?
Judge Whitaker to take a pause for now going to be the second day.
It's the cumulative nature of what's happened. Some of the mistrials.
They would only had 2 months. Oh, nah. I don't even think, according to the way the process went last time, that's crazy.
Trials brought up earlier were less, I don't want to say meaningful or serious, but they were for more minor transgressions. Issues that it was relatively straightforward for Judge Whitaker to say, all right, you've made your record, we're going to keep going. No, denied. And we've seen more aggressive ones.
All right. Let me see if I can get this audio right, yeah. One's in the chat if y'all hear the audio right, man. One's in the chat if you can hear him. Prayer outside the courthouse. Yo, don't come over here for your first time and run a commercial. Oh, this ain't your first time? Don't come over here running commercials for them people, boy. Nah, get that out of here, boy. We ain't got nothing to do with them felonious people. They don't come here on regular days.
After any offender, and at the direction of the DA taking the lead on us yesterday, making sure that we were able to get one of our top offenders off of the street. In partnership with them, utilizing our tactical teams, we were able to go out to the individual's location and arrest him without any significant consequences to him or any other party.
Oh, yeah.
And so
I got it. Yeah. See, come on, y'all. Y'all know how I'm rocking. You know how I'm giving it up on the wheels of steel. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing it. I can't hear. I don't know what they be doing.
I'll turn it over.
I don't even know how it be getting published like that.
Today I'm joined by the Atlanta Police Chief, Chief Rodney Bryant, as well as my sheriff and our sheriff, Sheriff Patrick LaFont.
She about the cap. She about the cap, y'all. Yeah, get ready. All right, so if you'll remember, this from before the trial. So somebody told me I should go back over it, and I did, and I thought it was interesting. So I thought it was so interesting, I brought it back Monday. Yeah.
We are here today about a grand jury indictment that was returned that included not just Jeffery Williams, which is of some notoriety and media attention.
That was a dirty. She tried to act like she don't know who Holmes is, y'all. That was dirty, wasn't it? Think about that. Like, how she just gonna act like yo ain't famous? Some notoriety. What? You're capping, lady. Yeah, let's rock and roll this morning. Hold on. Let me get there. Tap likes. Let's rock. It's Fani Willis from the beginning of the YSL trial. She about to cap it up.
Today I'm joined by the Atlanta Police Chief, Chief Rodney Bryant, as well as my sheriff and our sheriff, Sheriff Patrick LaFont. We are here today about a grand jury indictment that was returned that included not just Jeffery Williams, which is of some notoriety and media attention, but about 28 defendants that operated within our community between the time period of 2012 and 2022. It is our allegation that they operated as a criminal street gang and commenced to do havoc in our community. That havoc includes crimes of violence, crimes of thefts, crimes involving drugs. I've made no secret about it, nor any apology, that as the district attorney of Fulton County, my number one focus is targeting gangs. And there's a reason for that. They are committing conservatively.
Conservatively? No.
75 to 80% of all of the violent crime that we are seeing.
Who? You're lying.
Within our community. And so they have to be rooted out of our community. I said just a week or two ago, it does not matter what your notoriety is, what your fame is. If you come to Fulton County, Georgia, and you commit crimes, and certainly if...
But you let Dirk go, and you blamed it on King Von. But you had an officer that testified that he actually seen young Dirk with the Gesto out the window in the 300 vehicle. And you did charge Dirk and Vaughn with gang charges. But you failed to prosecute. And then what happened with him in the house with his girlfriend and the people that was intruders? Those
crimes are in furtherance of a street gang, that you are going to become a target and a focus of this district attorney's office, and we are going to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. I agree with Chief Bryant. What you see yesterday and what you will see in the upcoming months and years is the result of a lot of hard work by both the Atlanta Police Department and this office. We are proud to bring forth this indictment and hopefully to bring justice to a lot of the community who was victimized through the course you see in this indictment. But more importantly, the most important thing that we are here to do is to keep this community safe. And we believe removing these 28 defendants will keep Fulton County safer. Yes, sir.
The indictment's got Young Thug and...
Hey, yo, why George Cheedy start the questions every time? I'm just asking for a friend. Don't it seem weird? George Cheedy start the questions every time.
bunch of other rappers. Can you speak to that?
What I'll tell you is that as large as this indictment is, I told my team that let's not be sexy, now let's not overreach.
Let's not be sexy. Let's not be sexy, y'all.
Let's be conservative in our approach, which is always the approach that I take. And in taking that approach, 28 defendants were indicted, and they were indicted for the crimes that I believe were appropriate for this RICO indictment. And so I won't speak to any person that is not named.
These are serious, significant charges. I would imagine you're going to see some pretty serious sentencing here. I know it's early, but can you talk a little bit about the type of sentences they might be facing?
We'll ask on the different charges for the maximum penalties, and there's obviously many people that are looking at life under this indictment. You're absolutely right. These are serious times. They're serious allegations, and it is my opinion that violence in our community deserves maximum penalties.
In a recent interview, you said in the coming weeks and months to expect indictments, RICO charges, gang charges. We see that with fear. This is only focused on the YSL gang. At that time, you used plural indictments. Should we expect more indictments against singular gangs in the coming weeks and months? Is that what you were meaning with that quote?
Yeah, and if you're already aware, we dropped an indictment not that long ago against YFN. It is certainly a tool that I believe in, which is using RICO. I believe the reason that I believe in it as a tool is it allows.
Yo, y'all familiar with the actual outcome of the YFN RICO? Like what actually happened? Lucci looked like he ready to come home. Couple guys got some time. Bloody J got a null process on that? On the RICO? Wonder how that worked. Shell Cows ain't get hemmed up on that? No? Or did he? I don't know. For some reason I seen it, but I don't remember it.
Juries and the communities to see the complete picture of a crime so they can truly be educated and have facts to weigh when they're making decisions. And so if you're asking, should you expect to see other RICO indictments against other street gang organizations? Absolutely.
Two questions specific to YSL. With the 20 some people arrested here or named, how big is this gang? Is that a good portion of the gang you're operating in Atlanta? And how long were you investigating them?
If you look at the indictment, the crimes that are alleged within it go all the way back from 2012 to 2022. I wouldn't say that it contains every act of crime that YSL committed. It is a significant gang that operates here in Atlanta, Georgia, and not every member became a defendant within this indictment, but certainly.
You mean Mondo?
Certainly a significant amount did, and certainly some of the leadership, which is what's most important.
Who's the leader? Leadership. Does leadership mean more than one person, like the people at the top, so therefore you can explain the rest of the structure, right? Okay, I'll wait.
We're not going to just target the children that are running out at the direction of leaders.
Children? Where?
And not target leaders.
Direction. They never, we were 150 days in the trial, bro. Have y'all heard anybody give direction? Seriously. We 150 days in. Seriously, where the direction or the structure? So how you get leadership or how you say somebody directed? Real rap, where the directors? Seriously, bro. Nobody ain't listening to Thug. And I'm going to tell y'all one thing. Tick called Thug a rapper boy, but Tick was running from an NBA player. Ain't nobody gangster around here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Posted is here to let you know. Yes, I checked back with the founders of gangsterism. They said, no, you are not allowed to run from an NBA player. It's in the rule books. I checked back, y'all. It's in the rule books. If you is a gangster, yes, thugging, whatever you want to call it, off the porch, ungreen, with it, yes, You cannot run from an NBA player. I even checked. They said you can't even run from a summer league guy. Nah, you can't run from no hooper. You be thugging? No hoopers. Not even 3-on-3 with Ice Cube. You can't run from them.
How much did social media, music play a role in bringing this indictment?
Social media is a wonderful tool for prosecutors in every indictment we bring nowadays.
What you say? Prosecutors created social media so they can indict people. Huh? They know how to write software? That's crazy. I knew something was up.
And let's talk about, obviously, YSL. Their territories at Cleveland Avenue. It's no secret. We've seen a ton of violence. Innocent bystanders get hit. So you guys believe that by getting them off the streets, that people in that neighborhood who are living in fear can actually have some peace now?
I believe that people in that neighborhood and at every corner of Fulton County deserve to be safe, even if it is financially lower, socially, economically. You know, I don't think that part of the community should be left behind. Me and the mayor and the police chief have talked about the fact that Cleveland in our community is referred to as Bleveland, that it is somewhere where just violence occurs.
And we only got 3 bodies over 9 years. Alleged.
Where they're marking up territory, it's blood territory. It's horrible. And you're absolutely right. That community deserves to be safe, and we are hoping that this helps to keep them safe.
Hey, yo, free thighs.
When we talk about safety, we know these gang members are going to be housed or brought in at the same time. How are you and Sheriff Labatt working to keep them away from each other in the jail, especially with YF and Lucci being targeted as that came out recently?
Well, I won't step outside of my lane. I am the district attorney of Fulton County. I am not the sheriff. I have great confidence in the sheriff. He knew that this was coming as a law enforcement partner, and I believe that he is well prepared, but you'd have to speak to him to make sure that everyone within his facility is.
Yo, she really from California? And Atlanta ain't get gangs until the 2000s or so? Well, enough gangs for it to be an alleged problem. But almost all the gang experts except one is from out of town, and they from places with gangs. New York, Chicago, St. Louis. That's odd. They brought the gangs.
Safe.
This indictment names a few, it's not just social media posts, but songs that have been released by Young Thug and others, where those people's lyrics have evidence supporting the RICO conspiracy. And I'd like you to speak to the First Amendment issues that obviously raises.
This issue's been ruled on by the courts. I knew that question was coming. I believe in the First Amendment. It's one of our most precious rights. However, the First Amendment does not protect people from prosecutors using it as evidence if it is such.
What?
In this case, we put it as overt and predicate acts within the RICO count because we believe that's exactly what it is.
Let's allow Sheriff Labatt to answer those questions.
I have one more from Ms. Willis. What's the last thing you prosecuted in a RICO case? Was that the APS case?
This office? No, since I've been here as the district attorney, I think we've indicted probably 4 or 5 RICOs at this point. So it's a tool I use.
First of all, good afternoon.
Hey, yo.
I believe both Madam DA and Chief Bryant are.
Oh, Mario Van Peebles ass. Hey, yo, listen. Hey, yo, when they show us the stats all the time, why they don't never show us the whole equation, like how they got the stat? So, like, when you go to school, they tell you show the work. Well, why they don't show us the work? They just give us the answer. So we supposed to trust people, jobs that rest on doing a good job, and the numbers they provide to us help them keep their job. So we trust their numbers without seeing the work. That's crazy. I ain't even gonna lie. That's crazy. I ain't even gonna lie. That's crazy. Hey, that's like you got some work done, some lawn care, right? And you just paid the dudes. You ain't even go look at the lawn.
Really raising the level of consciousness in what we're doing in Fulton County.
He said he done did the job 110%. You like, all right, bro, say less. I'm going to give you a tip just because I'm going to trust you. Or how about the dude that did your tune-up? Yeah, he say he did 100% job. You don't want to check to see if he really replaced that filter? Okay.
And certainly they deserve our appreciation. With respect to the specific question as to safety and so many people being brought in, we are housing them accordingly to include other facilities. So I encourage everyone to really download the Sheriff's app if you want to know specifically where individuals are, and you'll be accommodated accordingly.
Sheriff Levine.
What?
Like I said, jumping to the indictment, there was an element of it where they were talking about Montavious Greer communicating with an inmate, where the inmate had a cell phone that was contraband. But it was clear from the indictment that you had been, or that all of you had been monitoring that conversation. Like, it leads me to ask a question you're probably not going to answer. Was that cell phone deliberately given to an inmate so that those conversations could be monitored?
So I did have an opportunity to read your...
So George Cheedy just asked him about the cell phone being given to one of the suspects in the YSL trial and whether it was given to him intended, like whether they gave it to him on purpose, intentionally, I'll say, right? Think about that. So mind you, this before the trial started, I believe. So how would George Cheedy know?
Editorial that you posted in the Buckhead blog or whatever it was from that perspective. And so you're right. I'm not going to answer that. So, appreciate it. We'll leave that to Madam DA.
Can you tell us of the 28 who were indicted, how many
Why wouldn't he answer?
have been arrested, how many are large, how many are already in custody?
And I do not have that exact number. I can tell you approximately 10 were already in custody. I believe as of last night, we had arrested at least 3 as of last night. I expect to see more arrests today and in the upcoming weeks, but I'm realistic. It's probably going to take the next 2 weeks to get everyone in custody.
There's been some discrepancies about where the gun is. Maybe this is better for the sheriff. Where is he in custody?
Short answer, Michael. He's not in custody.
Okay. I mean, has there been arrangements for him to surrender, or is he considered a fugitive right now?
Well, we're making arrangements as much as he had representatives call me last night directly. So we'll muddle through that piece and let you know. And again, download the Sheriff's app. Make sure.
Sheriff, one more question.
Yes, sir.
Have you had to take any special precautionary measures at the jail in light of high profile? I mean, you mentioned people being housed differently, but just safety for your corrections officers. I mean, what kind of, are you able to reveal some of the things you've had to do in light of?
And that's a great question, and I appreciate you taking the time to come visit us a couple of weeks ago. To that extent, based on some of the things that we found, we've already begun new procedures.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So the opportunity for us to maintain safety is paramount. Thank you.
Follow up on Michael's question with the indictment and names being out there now. Are any of the individuals considered fugitives? Is there a worry that some of them are on the run?
Yo, mind you, George Cheedy knew the RICO was coming before it popped up, y'all. When Thug baby mother got smoked, George Cheedy already knew about the RICO. He came on Clubhouse insinuating that the RICO was coming. We ain't know what he was talking about. Yeah. Don't ask me where he came from. It's a long story. I don't feel like I ain't bring him. I don't know. I ain't know who he was. But when he popped up, he was talking like they ready to crack down on these gangs. Now, none of us ain't really know, so we wasn't asking those pertinent questions. We was asking, like just surface level about the vibes of what was going on with Thug and his baby mother. Now, Holmes came in alluding to, and some people already knew that Thug had beef and what was going on. Now, I didn't know. So Holmes come on there talking as if, yeah, it's about to go down. I promise. I don't know where this audio at. More than likely, I got it somewhere. Seriously. But the first time Holmes popped up, Holmes was talking real, and he wasn't talking one gang, y'all, because he went from Thug and them, then we started talking about Lil Baby, So allegedly, he said a homeboy of his was writing a serious-ass article about Marlo. And he was asking quite a lot of questions about Marlo's situation, y'all. I'm going to keep it real. George Cheedy. He kept alluding to it, and he was saying somebody that he cool with also is a writer. And they doing a big story writing about Marlo and, you know, how it's connected to the music in Atlanta and all types of stuff for a big platform magazine. I remember him dropping that. Now, I might have mixed up some of the you know, the details, but still, because he was, at the time, I didn't even know who he was. Real rap. I didn't understand who he was. I don't keep up with Atlanta politics. I ain't got nothing to do. That ain't none of my business. So I was just getting hip. But now that I think about it, Holmes was already talking about multiple Ricos. He was talking about the specific gangs. He was talking about Marlo. He was talking about the connection between Marlo and the bodies in the street. He was talking about Christian McMillan and Darius Ford. He was talking about all types of stuff that wasn't even, now I understand now because he was writing about all this stuff. He was already covering it. So I eventually went back and went through his little blog, but his blog don't go back but so far. And it is politically based. So for him to be this interested in the music scene, I was already curious, like, yo, how did he even venture over? Because it's like, you might cover it a little bit, but when you start making it your main thing, your main squeeze, that says a lot. Tap the like button. Good morning. Straight up. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. Yep. So what y'all think gonna happen in court today? It has to be more bodies? It's not really, Dave. It's not. They put them up on the board. They got a couple unsolved that they can't necessarily really prove. And then they got a couple that's like, we suspect, but we ain't got all the evidence but hearsay. So it's like, we probably got like a total of 6 to 7. Look like other side up, though. We might got 10. Might. And that's between both sides, though. And look like the other side up. We talking 7-3. Definitely won the playoff series. You understand? They definitely won the playoff series, y'all. And I noticed this early. Like, hold on. These boys looking more active. They spinning. Tap the like button. Good morning. I appreciate y'all being here. So that's what Fani said for the Young Thug arrest press conference at the beginning. That's what that was I just played.
Been formally filed motions for a mistrial. Brian Steele had one that was particularly lengthy. And those are all attached to the record. They're all subject to review by an appellate court, depending on what happens with this case. So what makes this one different? Well, a number of things. It involved character evidence. And it's wrongful character evidence. It's not character evidence that there's a question about, really. You're not allowed to talk about the prior bad acts and convictions of people if it is prohibited. And that information permanently changes the output or the outlook and the perspective of jurors sitting in judgment on.
Yo, that's Westmoreland real head. What is she, Indian?
On this case, if you've spoiled your jurors, can you continue a trial? This is particularly interesting as well because of the idea that it would be without prejudice. The defense has been asking Judge Whitaker for a mistrial with prejudice basically since she took over, and certainly many before Judge Glenn.
So, to be honest, y'all, it looks like I'm going to have to go live on one of my other channels to really talk heavy because there's some other things going on with this situation that's pretty pertinent in the strength of the entertainment industry and how important this type of event is to them. Yo, is it true? The vote's about to happen, right? But the last time that it came around time to vote, everybody was worried about going out and marching right before the votes. The Wendy's burnt down and all that. That was right before the votes, wasn't it? Wasn't it? So they be having to get guys. Who the hell is he?
But again,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like, so
They go Big Love. All right, this dude right here, y'all. This dude, if y'all wasn't here, this dude is If Gang. But he's his co-defendant. His co-defendant is from YSL. How that work, y'all? How that work? I'm going to play the rest of what? Loyalty, what you talking about?
That's what I want to do.
I don't know what I had going on up here. Hold on, y'all. Yeah. So,
pretty significantly back here. They have left as well now that the fires have kind of died down in those areas. So more of the road getting. Just making sure that wasn't our car that they were going to tow there. But we did we did hear from Mayor Bottoms early today and GBI.
Spelman student, the Morehouse student that were traveling in the car, and they were tased by the Atlanta police officers who were.
Screen, it's completely shut down. It looks like there's a little bit of traffic coming now on the right side.
Few weeks, and the issue of social justice and police brutality in communities of color.
Hey, yo, how this connected? Let me chill. Let me chill. Tap the like button. Salute to everybody in here. I appreciate you being here.
We're going to move a little bit.
Yeah.
We have
If you know, you know.
We are losing our live picture there of Hope Ford right in the middle
If you know, you know.
That's the one that we were just talking about a
If
moment
you
ago,
know,
right,
you
John?
know.
I think this gives us a much better overview of
Yeah.
how this is transpiring. And as we see from drifting into that parking lot, the top of the lot, if we
They bluffing.
Told everyone to disperse at least from the middle of the road.
They bluffing.
That ignited a lot of.
They bluffing.
Finding a cord to allow our citizens to vent, to express themselves.
They
without
bluffing.
causing violence, without throwing.
Man, listen, tap the like button. Salute to everybody in here. I appreciate you being here. Yeah. It get a little bit different over here. I promise. But I can't even really go. I can't even do it, y'all. I'm gonna keep it real. I can't do that right now.
Because I know you posted.
He just posted up.
I would like to get beneath the surface of things, and I'm getting very upset.
But look, right, I'm gonna say this. If you want, you can see the play. You can see the play. Look, let me show you. So look, right? So during this footage, they literally watching, right? So every couple minutes, people keep running off out the crowd for no reason. You see other people just standing there, nothing don't happen. Then all of a sudden, at some point, everything just go left. Y'all watch. They literally show you the play, and nobody don't even be paying attention.
I get it. They want
Look. She talking. She out there.
I get it, but you also need to make sure they.
Look, now all of a sudden they got the wall. Look, peep game, y'all, peep game.
She hopes it does not come to
all right, look, the play is pull all the police cars up there, right, and park them with no police in them. Y'all know the play. Hey, yo, don't type that word. Hey, yo, don't type none of them words or I'm going to block you. If you type them words, that means you dumb and you don't know what's really going on. And you won't come up on Discord and talk about it. So don't, hey, yo. Hey, yo, right now while I'm playing this video, don't type no, I'm smart. Let me type this word in the chat. I'm going to crush you. Because you don't got no platform and you actually dumb right now because I'm in the future. So I'm doing it the right way. All of those saying them words you be saying and typing names, you stupid. Stop. Don't make me embarrass you in here right now. Straight up. So if you ain't willing to step your game up to my level, pipe down. Straight up. Don't make me, come on, I'm having a good morning. Don't make me do that.
As the protests happened. I want to also share a tweet from Governor Brian Kemp that just went out a few minutes ago.
They do that on purpose every time.
Currently, there are thousands of Georgians gathered in Atlanta to demand justice for George
Trying to pop out, acting fake smart.
It is a powerful moment for our state and country. The governor adding that we encourage protesters to exercise their constitutional rights safely, especially in light of COVID-19. And the governor made that response retweeting
you don't need no names.
Atlanta, retweeting a statement.
And you don't need no keywords. So that's when you could really start saying who Ops is. Straight up. You don't even need that. Especially when I be laying down the formula. You hear me come talking about something and you hear me not say none of them. And then you just got to blurt it out.
From Mayor Keisha Lance writing, when lives and the conscience of this nation are at peril, we as people are expected to exercise our constitutional.
I'm talking